Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Small Biz Chat podcast. I'm Melinda Emerson, your host. We hope that you're watching us on our Small Biz Lady YouTube channel or my Small Biz Lady Facebook fan page. Please subscribe and share this feed. We want other small business owners to have the opportunity to access this amazing information. Now it's time for me to introduce my guest. Miss Yvonne E.L. Silver is CEO of Women and Wisdom Media, which she focuses on women entrepreneurs seeking to flourish. She's a speaker, author, entrepreneur, and executive coach, and she is an emotional intelligence consultant with over 30 years of experience in startups. She started as a radio show host. She's an expert in communication and in sales. She also held senior leadership roles in global consulting and the IT and telecommunications sector. Her passion is helping women re-energize their voice, leverage their presence, and clearly showcase their value for an expansive business growth. For more information, head over to YvonneSilver.com. Yvonne, welcome to the Small Biz Chat podcast.
Thanks, Melinda, for the invitation.
Now, tell us a little bit about your background and your business. What is Women and Wisdom Media? Tell us what that is and how you serve people.
So it's a passion leveraged from my experience growing up with my mum, where my PTSD father came back from World War II with a bullet in Dunkirk and literally was an angry, mean man. He was not diagnosed and treated. So he took it out on my mum and she literally lost her voice. So my passion is women in particular speaking up, finding their voice, finding their value, and using their language even more powerfully to be able to ask for what they want and get it, not by being aggressive, but by being clear and showcasing their value. So that's the work that I do. I love anything to do with words. When I wrote my best-selling book, that was a great opportunity to really key in on some of the strategies that have really helped me over my life and my career and put it all into one place and bring in 40 words and word concepts to help women ask for what they want to get it.
I love it. I love it. All right. So you boast that you can help people increase their sales 300%. So I got to get into that with you right now. So help me understand, how do you do that? And what's the secret sauce on that?
Well, a few years ago, because I love communications, I ran across a communications tool, which is actually developed by a company called Codebreaker Global, and it's the bank methodology. Now, many of us have used at some time in our life, we've done some sort of psychology-based assessment, whether it's DISC, Myers-Briggs, colors, whatever it might be. This one is specifically reverse engineered from some of the original Hippocrates, father of medicine, four temperaments work to specifically ask about not me, but who's sitting in front of me and how can I communicate more effectively with that person, the potential buyer, consumer, partner, relationship, etc. So we do that in asking them in nanoseconds, 90 seconds, to complete an online profile. And it's simple. There's four profiles. Each one has a set of 10 values. And by looking at the cards, we then ask people to sort them into order that sounds most like them and least like them. And that will give us a code. So my first code is nurturing, followed by action, then by knowledge, and then by blueprint. So don't ask me to do your systems work because I am not the systems person. I don't like being in a box. I like helping people, personal growth, and taking action to see results. So when I know what the person's personality code is, I will give them information in the conversation specifically oriented to land with their values. So if they're a knowledge person, they want the facts, the figures, the data, the science. Nothing I'm saying is going to convince them. They need to do their own research and get the evidence. If they have a blueprint primary personality, they want the steps, the process. It's got to be inside the lines, nothing crazy or unusual. Don't over promise and under deliver. And you better show up on time. The action person, it's got to appeal to them. It's got to be exciting. It's got to make them money. It's got to be fast paced. They only read the top line and the bottom line in your email. There's no point in giving them detail. They don't want the detail. They just want to know, how's it going to help me or make me more money? And then the nurturing is all about people. How is this going to help society, humanity, impact people? How is this going to help me connect faster? And they like personal hugs. So we have to find a way to blend. If we don't know who we're talking to yet, we go into a boardroom or we go into a bigger sales meeting. We have to blend and have a little peppering of each of those things in the conversation so that everybody hears the message. It's called the art of influence, and it's a process called biology, Buyology, developed by Sherry Tree with Codebreaker.
So, okay, so these cards are cool. I think I'm a red based upon,
I think so.
But based upon what you said, I think I'm a red. But I do have some nurturing in me. I'm a mom, so I nurture people a little bit, right? So, but help me understand, how can I get somebody that I want to potentially pitch for business to help me figure out which one of these personalities they are? I mean, if it's an assessment people have to take, how do I get some stranger that I want to have a sales meeting with to take this assessment? Like, what do I do?
Yeah. So what I do, Melinda, is I set it up as part of my calendaring system. So when someone goes to book a meeting with me, they have an invitation. It's optional. We don't force it on people, but they have an option to connect faster on the meeting and learn a little bit more about their own preferred communication style. It takes 90 seconds. So anybody can do it. And if they haven't actually completed it before the meeting starts, very often at the beginning, I will say, I gave you a gift in the calendar system. I'm not sure if you picked it up and learned more about your preferred communication style, but it really helps us to connect faster. If you haven't done it, hey, let's do it. It takes 90 seconds. Very rarely do people say no, because it gives them insights about their own preferred communication style, but it also helps me understand, how do I want to lay out this meeting? How do I want to deliver things? Do I want to go fast paced and expect them to make a decision right away because they're action oriented? Or do I want to give them the facts and then sit back and let them do it on their own time? Because I know that someone who is one of my favorite client groups is nurturing and knowledge. They're intrigued about the personal growth, but they're not going to make a quick decision. So there's no point in trying to close a deal at the end of the call because they need more time.
I see. This is really, really interesting. I like how you do that. And now I understand how you and I got together, because you did that for me. You sent me one of those things and said, take this. And so I'm like, oh, so now I know the trick. Okay, all right. So tell me something though. Before you get to this, what are some ways that you suggest that women entrepreneurs should approach potential sales targets? Because I think it's hard. A lot of people are intimidated by the sales process. And so I just want to know what some of the suggestions that you have for like methods for reaching out to potential customers when you might not be super confident yet.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the essence, Melinda, of confidence, is being really clear. Like, don't just say, hey, I'm going to start my own business. Going to put up a website tomorrow. I mean, the GoDaddy adverts, they say, yes, your website's up tomorrow. However, if you don't know who you're marketing to and what it is that is the result that they want to achieve, you're probably not going to get their attention, because right now we're so busy with so many messages, right? AI has created en masse more messaging. And so as we get bombarded as the public, something has to really stand out. So what's the result that your product, your service, your offering is going to give? Be really clear on that first. And then that's going to tell you, where do those people who want this product hang out? Where do they hang out en masse? So you're not trying to have one-on-one conversation. You want to be the speaker at the front of the room, in front of that audience, that group, that association, that club, so that your message is a one-to-many message. And they can always come up and book a one-on-one call afterwards. but you're not repeating the same thing so many times. So women in general, when we are clear, it's usually because we have a passion for something that upset us, ticked us off, didn't seem fair. And when we rise and step into that passion, translate it into a result that other women want, it makes it so much easier to actually speak to it. You're not selling it, you're just sharing your passion.
Well, what are some common mistakes people make doing this, though?
Common mistakes are giving a price too early in the conversation. And very often, what I learned when I was working as a VP of a global talent management firm, so this is more sort of corporate, but the same principle applies, is if I told them the price early on, then all they're doing is evaluating, is that product or service worth that price? They haven't really given you all the information that you need to be able to reflect back to them. Here's what you told me. Here's what is an impact if we don't fix this. Like, there's a cost right now. Otherwise, why would we be having the conversation? And so when you give the price too early, it stops the conversation, because now they're at a point where they need to decide. So how can you make sure that you've got all the information that you need to be able to make an effective quote, so that you don't end up doing more work than you're going to get paid for? That's a key thing. Or asking too soon and asking too much from someone else without having built the relationship. It's kind of like, I don't know if I can say this on your show or not, but it's kind of like premature ejaculation. If you go for things too fast, then it doesn't work, because you haven't built the trust, you haven't built the relationship.
Right. I get it. That's really fascinating. When we come back, we're going to talk more about how to increase your sales. You're watching the Small Biz Chat podcast, and we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Melinda Emerson, the Small Biz Lady, and I want to welcome you to smallbizladyacademy.com, your go-to resource for women entrepreneurs. Whether you're just starting out or ready to grow, we've got everything you need to succeed. From expert interviews to live coaching sessions, our platform offers practical tools and strategies to help you build a profitable small business. Join our vibrant community of like-minded entrepreneurs today and take your business to new heights. Visit smallbizladyacademy.com and start your journey. Welcome back to the Small Biz Chat podcast. I'm Melinda Emerson, your host, and we're talking with Yvonne Silver about how to boost your sales. All right, Yvonne, tell me, what advice would you give to a small business owner that is struggling with sales right now?
Well, it depends what your definition of struggling is. Like, if there's some urgency to this, really my recommendation is go back to basics, right? Depending on the size and the maturity of your business, can you make a list of 30 to 150 people, whether they're clients or connections of yours, the people that already know, like, and trust you, that you can personally start making phone calls to, and being clear on your ask? And your ask is not, oh, can you buy my product? Your ask is, who do you know that could be open to XYZ, which is whatever the result your product provides, and who are they, and is that someone that you can introduce me to today? So I'm looking for a who and a referral, and giving people an option to self-select. If it sounds like them, then they'll put their hand up and say, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. How do you triple your sales by 300%, right? Up to 300%. So you don't have to explain it a whole lot. If you are a bit more established, then you can certainly leverage referrals, right? Asking for that introduction, but take it one layer deeper. So if someone says, yes, I'll introduce you to my friend Sue, oh, can you reach out to Sue and send a little note just quickly, just to say that I'll be calling her, which adds so much extra weight than just saying, hey, Sue told me to call you, because they've taken a little bit extra time. The other thing is, if you have a opportunity to partner up with somebody who's already in your same space, but is a complementary offering to you, don't think that joint venture marketing is only for the big, successful, multi-millionaire people. It's for anybody who wants to partner with someone who has a complementary service offering and already has a group of your ideal clients so that you can actually have a win-win solution. Share your services.
Love it. Love it. All right, Yvonne, what is the best business advice you've ever been given?
Well, we all know that customers, it takes about, at least 7 times, I've seen various numbers, but more time to get a new customer than it does to retain an existing one. So the best advice is what happens when something goes wrong? Because invariably business things crop up. It's not the fact that something went wrong, it's how you choose to handle it, how you respond as the business owner that will keep the relationship either intact or in trust. So it'll show whether you have high levels of personal customer service or not. And that has been at the forefront of all of my work, is about how do we retain, whether it's employees in my HR days or clients, because we really do need to value and fix things, right? Make sure that we're responding appropriately.
I love that. I love that. I'm so much into customer retention, and I think it's something that people miss and ignore. And existing customer is 60 to 65% more likely to buy from you again. So, Lord, why are you chasing these new people out here? Anyway, I
Yeah.
love. Thank you so much for being here. I love all of your advice, and I can't wait to share it more with my audience. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about how to get real financial freedom. You're watching the Small Biz Chat podcast, and we will be right back.